Hi, my name is Mike Lee.G, and we have another video for today. Before we start, we hope you like our videos, and you might wonder why we say we instead of I. Well, it's the consciousness of your head and your witness, which is the spirit. So, like I had said before, the Garden of Eden, Adam learned how to say I am and I, separating himself from God. So if you like these videos, subscribe, share them with other people, because there are definitely a lot of information here that can help a lot of people. And if you're so inclined, visit our Patreon page. So for today, our bodies are containers of energy. That's what this video is about. As you go through the developmental stages, and depending on what goes on before birth to 7 years of age, your body becomes a container. And then the container also will hold, let's say, the spirit, or let's say your energy. And how that energy works inside your body will dictate what's going to happen with you. It's something that you'll grasp it when you start noticing some things in people's bodies. But remember, all this is very painful. It's not meant to just sit there and point at people and say, I see this, I see that. People have to go through their entire lives, and they're blocked by things and trauma that happen when they're younger, and then they're magnified throughout their whole life. So, this is, look at yourself first. Don't be pointing fingers, because sometimes you could be looking at a body type, body structure, and it might not fully fit because you don't have all the facts. Because remember, people are like onions. Sometimes something very traumatic happened, shaped the body a bit, but then it got better as you went through the time, and there was healing there, and that can also be seen in the body. Okay, so we're going to draw a timeline. Okay, and let's say before birth to 6 months old, and then we have the 1.5 year mark, and we have the 3 year mark, the 5 year mark, and 7 and beyond. Okay, so the first part is the body itself. The baby's born. The baby cannot contain energy. If you make too much noise, it starts crying. It gets scared very easily. There's it's a little body. When there's distortion in the family that disrupts the bonding, this child can get something where their body becomes they become fragmented because of yelling and screaming, because of violence. And that beginning of containing energy, now you have a fragmented start. And you can see this in physically with the eye sunken in, or the skin. It's like vacuumed. It feels like someone is vacuuming their energy up, because it's not containing the energy. It's kind of sucking it back. And that's why these people are very creative too, because they never really formed in the body. They're still in the spirit. That's why they can be artists. They can fantastic artists are like that. People that do any kinds of the arts, there's a chance that that's where it's from. Between 6.5 to 1.5 years is the mirroring stage. So the first one was the bonding. Is the mirroring stage. This is where the mother mirrors, the child mirrors the mother. If it's not done properly, this is also called the oral stage. If this is not done properly, what happens is the container has a leak. Okay, the container has a leak, and you have to constantly fill this. Okay, and then underneath it is the puddle. You're constantly filling this person. A perfect example of this is like an Instagram model. And why? because she's got to get those views, got to get the views, got to get that adulation. And that's filling a void, a container that has a hole in the bottom. The energy is leaking out because it wasn't properly mirrored in the mirroring stage. Then we get to the no stage, or the anal stage. And again, this is where the control of the anus, better control the arms, legs, and also the emergence of the head, identity. And the first thing that they learn is the word no. If this is again traumatized with the overbearing mother who forces the kid to eat, says not to run too much, and weaponizes the no, the container now becomes solidified, like really solid, and the energy in there is boiling. Okay, boiling. This is dripping, dripping, or leaking, and this can't contain energy. Can't contain. Can't contain it. You just can't do it. Now in the next stage, what happens here? This is the stage where it's a pre-genital stage, to like an introduction to the spirit, to start expending, experiencing creativity and a union with the spirit, with the opposite sex parent. The opposite sex parent has to be encouraging this because that's how they are identifying with the spirit. What happens here? The parent could be abandoning the child, not doing it, indifferent, and the energy goes upward. And this person is kind of like vapor, and has the large head mass. So this is like clouds. They become like clouds almost, filled. But they're holding it up in the air. It's not holding in the body. It's up in the air. And they want to be up in the clouds. And generally, it just takes a little bit, and this person just gives you like the black cloud. It just rain all over you. The next, so you can consider this like vapor. Now this is similar to that in the sense that this is in the clouds and this is in the clouds. This being in the clouds, they never came from the spirit. This being in the clouds, they are the identity is themselves. So they think they're the I am. I am in the head only, no body. Okay, so the relationship between this person and the opposite sex is subservient. They have to be in charge. The other person has to be subservient. The next one is the rigid character defense. Now the rigid person, let's say they went through all this. They're sitting on daddy's lap or sitting on mommy's lap, and then all of a sudden mommy or daddy gets the wrong idea in their head, and they have like this sexuality vibrating. Children have this because it's just energy, just vibrating. It's got no, it's all over the place. So the parent is really turned off by that, and when they're turned off by that, they're very standoffish. They push the child away, or they create these boundaries, and they start treating the child meaner, and they do that so that they can have their peace and not feel this energy of this weird sexuality. And then what becomes of the child's container is ice. They become frozen solid blocks, because you see the spirit is inside, but so that they can have their sense of self, they have to freeze. They can't move. They can't actually, you know what, this guy's got to be down here. This guy's got to go underground. And even with the water vapor is another thing too, is where I should have drawn where they end up. This is up in the sky. This person's leaking, so they end up underneath the ground. This person is underneath the ground. This person is up in the air. This person being the square, some in the ground, some in the air, but they're frozen solid. These people really do look like they got it together. And don't kid yourself. Some of the biggest monsters in our world have been these people. there's a big superiority complex between the narcissist. They really think they're superior, and the psychopath, and the rigid, very arrogant. And this guy's huge on will. This is the guy that says, pull up your bootstraps. I go, let me tell you, the guy that tells me to pull up my bootstraps, wait till I go over this with them, straighten them out a bit, and let them know what they really are doing. Because that will is that perfectionism that they impose, upon everybody else. An example of this would be like a Steve Jobs or a Elon Musk. And you got to hear, once you understand this, you understand the space and time, or the truth of everything, you get to hear the words that they say. What does Elon Musk say about fingers? He calls your hands meat sticks. Just remember, he calls your hands meat sticks. So when he calls your hands meat sticks, what's his connection to his body? What's his connection to the truth if he's calling his hands meat sticks? And people actually are talking about artificial intelligence and implants and things like that. I said, do you really want to have Elon Musk as your gatekeeper? As the person that's going to really control what's going on in your body? Do you really want any kind of technology that someone's going to put inside your body, that the gatekeeper is someone that says these are meat sticks? I don't think so. And that's another thing that'll happen, is that depending on where you are in consciousness and truth, you see the world in a different way. Everything is different. You'll understand the Republicans, and the Democrats, and you'll understand the motivating factors, and you can even understand where they are here, like how their energy was formed. Whereas the Democrats tend to go towards the feminine energy, or the left, and the Republicans go towards the more masculine energy and the right. The problem is that each one of these is no good, because they are just one part. You can't just have the head and not have the torso. You got to have both. Republicans and Democrats. The Republicans will focus more on I and identity. The Republicans will focus more on the collective. And all this is, all this can be understood here. All this can be understood here. The bottom line is that energy shapes matter. Your body shape has been shaped by what happened before birth to 7 years of age. Now, there's always room for improvement. The one thing I tell people all the time is weightlifting is this place. So if you're going to do exercise, is one thing. If you want to do some weightlifting to gain some strength, that's fine. But remember, weightlifting just magnifies this, the ability to take more punishment. This person's in the sky, a lot of mental anger. This person's got to get a lot of energy. They'll spend money like water, like there's never enough, like they'll just spend everything. This person will work and work and work and work and work, and they're backbiters too. Like this person will not. This person can't say no to someone directly. So what they do is they'll say no to people on the side. So almost covert narcissism, but they're blind. They don't know they're doing it. Whereas the covert narcissist knows exactly what they're doing. The narcissist is holding water vapor up in the air. They think they're up in the clouds. Rigid, frozen block of ice. Willpower, you can do it. I did it, you can do it. That's it. G.I. Joe. And that's the way that they'll deal with any problem. They'll use the willpower. Meanwhile, everything else is screwed up inside. Like they're frozen solid. They're not connected to themselves. Perfectionism. They count cracks. They have either love or sex. They can't have both because there's a split in the body. But they are capable to do a lot of things. And keep in mind, too, that the person that has this rigidity can plan years in advance for whatever their goals might be. So you'll they're patient. They can wait 5, 10 years, and they have the ability to manipulate people that are stuck in different places and time. Different places. They're stuck somewhere. They can manipulate that. Even the education system. The education system that's churning out all these protesters now. It's a design that they originally did because they want you to work for them, so they're preparing you to work for them. However, the truth and light, can say, I've had enough. And even in the distortion that they rise up, which is what we're having now, it still can cause a lot of damage. So, again, our bodies are containers of energy, and depending on how this was damaged in the formative stages will dictate the character defense and how you contain the energy. Fragmented, leaking, boiling, up in the clouds like vapor, block of ice. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you share it with other people, and I'll putting out more videos. And again, if so inclined, visit our Patreon page. And if you're feeling anxiety or something, just go for a walk. Stomp your feet in the backyard a bit. Focus on your breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Because a lot of stuff is going to bring up memories. And these memories just have to be dealt with. You don't have to sit there carrying them or the pain with you all the time. They just got to be dealt with. And one of the ways of dealing with them is understanding the truth of them, the real reality of what happened. And once you can understand the truth of it, it's going to help cleanse the problem. Because the distortion is in how we are in darkness and not in proper time and space. When you become more conscious, you're unified more in the now, your space and time starts aligning, and then you'll be able to see the past in a whole different light, and you'll see the present in a whole different light. And another thing, I know I'm just rambling on right now, but sorry. The people that you think are your friends or your immediate circle are based on your character defense. So if you're the person that's this person that's doing everything for everybody else, your circle is based on you doing something for everybody else. If you're the person that's just sucking energy in all the time, you're going to have benefactors that are feeding you that energy. If you're the person that's fragmented, again, you're going to be around people that are getting something from you, or you're getting something from them. So a lot of relationships are going to change, and you might think that it's not for the better, but I'm telling you, it's in the better, because when you come into the truth, at least you'll have a better sense of self, and you won't let other people manipulate you, use you, and you'll just be in a better place. It might not be what you expected, but at the end of the day, you'll be gratified, because the Bible talks about the wisdom, and Paul talks about everything that he learned before Christ is refuse, is not necessary anymore, and that's how you're going to end up feeling, and you're going to experience things differently. I don't want you to think this is any supernatural hokey pokey stuff. This is grounded. This is grounded. It is very grounded. We're talking about being grounded here. And once you understand how this works with people, you'll see it. You'll see it in yourself. You'll see interactions where you could have been a bit like this. You could have some narcissistic tendencies. You could have some masochist tendencies. You could have some rigidity. You can have some, I need more, I need more, I need more help. Just like when you're remembering those covert narcissists, what they're doing is they're playing the victim card. The victim. They want the sympathy. They want that more endless amount of sympathy coming into them. They're leaking. They weren't mirrored properly. So again, hope you enjoyed this video. Share it. God bless.